Hey guys, welcome back to another Q&A video series. We hope you had a great holiday. This week we are going to touch on a skill that is super important in gymnastics and progressions to bigger skills, and that is our backbend. We start teaching a backbend or a form of a backbend all the way in our baby dipper classes, but when we really start drilling them is in our little dipper classes where they actually have to be able to push off of their head. I have my friend Anaya here is going to demonstrate some of the progressions we will see when teaching backbends, and that you can practice with your little ones at home. Again, this is a skill that is usually required in most of the levels needed to move up. So first, can you show me a layout? We teach our kids a layout position, which is this one. You can practice this at home, hands and feet in, and they just need to be able to push up off of their head. This is your little dipper. Little dipper just needs to have straight arms off of their head. Come on down for a second. When we spot these, we never want to push on the lower back. We never want to pull on them. I'm going to spot you. Pretend you don't know what you're doing. Okay, but we're going to hold them at their shoulders and kind of support them right here and have them hold it just as long as they can. Count to 3 gymnastics and come back down. And gradually they'll get stronger and stronger, okay? So, after they can push up off of their head, a strong back bend off their head, should be able to maybe count to 5 gymnastics. We count gymnastically here. Count to 5 gymnastics before coming down. After that, they'll push up into a back bend. Now we're going to start getting a little bit tricky. Now we're going to ask them to lift up a leg. They're going to be able to lift their dominant leg first. Then we're going to ask them to lift another leg. And then an arm. And then their other arm. And come on down. If they can do all 4 of those in the same back bend, that's a good back bend, strong back bend work. Those again are things they could be doing at home. You could be supporting their upper back by their shoulders like I showed you, and have them see if they can lift. From there, push up again. I know you're going to do a lot of back bends. We can have them start jumping their feet. This is getting their shoulder angle where we want it to be. In a back bend, we want her armpits to go past her wrists. See how they're rocking past her wrists every time she jumps? Come on down, thank you. That is also going to progress into them learning their kickover. If she can't, or if your gymnast cannot get their shoulders to go to lean over that far, they're not going to be able to kick over. Will you show us a kickover? Shoulders have to go that way to kick over. Sorry, she wasn't in that. Thank you. Okay, so as we're working backbend skills, they're also working falling backwards into a backbend. You can also spot your gymnast. She's bigger than me. Arms up, big straddle, and we're going to support their waist while they reach down. There we go. We're always making sure we're holding them. Come on now. There we go. Okay. Things they could be doing at home. If they could push up into a back bend and we just need that lean, they could be pushing their nose up against a wall, leaning up against a wall, things like that. When we teach back bends here, we use a panel mat. Will you go grab that panel mat for me? Before we start teaching kickovers on the floor, they're going to be using a panel mat. She's going to grab one for me real quick. If you have one of these at home, make sure you put it up against a wall. Thank you. Put it up against a wall so it doesn't slide. Our gymnasts here are going to practice their kickovers. We start on 4 panels, which is what your little dipper needs. When you don't have to do it, but when they do that, we'll take a panel away and they move lower and lower and lower. Other flexibility. Can you sit? Show us some shoulder stretch. A lot of the kids struggle with kickovers because they just don't have the flexibility to do it. So they might be kicking and falling back the other way, kicking over and falling back the other way. They're not flexible enough in their shoulders to initiate the kickover. They're not going to have it. So simultaneously, while we're working kicking, we're working their shoulders. We want pinkies together. Then from there we go back. That way, good. This is a good one to do, or can you show me the other way? My fingers face your mouth. And this one's a good one to do. They could be doing this on your kitchen counter. They could be watching TV, stretching out their shoulders that way. Awesome. From there, once they initiate the kickover, then we start learning our back walkovers and our other limber skills, our front limbers, and front walkovers. Another important progression to doing your back handspring or your flip flop is having a good kickover. A lot of gymnasts kind of skip the kickover part and then they struggle later with their back handspring or their flip flop. We don't like to skip that part here. We don't like to skip the kickover or the really solid back walkover before teaching a flip flop. It will make the flip flop come a whole lot easier if they have these preliminary things. So, you want to show us your flip flop? Let's see how awesome your flip flop is. Because she has such a beautiful back walkover. Actually, do your back walkover. Sorry about that. Good. And then that leads. Go ahead, do your flip flop step up. So, there's really no way she would be able to have a beautiful flip flop step out if she wasn't able to do it in slow motion first. Does that make sense, right? Makes it a lot easier later down the line when they want to learn it. So there is our, thank you very much. There is our backbend to flip-flop progression. If you have any questions, drop them below. Maybe there's something specific your child is working on within their flip-flop, and you're like, oh, maybe it stems back to their back walkover, and chances are it might. So let us know. We can also break it down even farther for you. Also next week, speaking of backbends and flip-flops, we have our backbend and or flip-flop clinics for you guys to sign up for. So if that's a skill that your child is specifically working on, please contact the front desk, and we will see you guys next week.